Bus Wanker Update, number 194.
I mean, she can.
Dark,
We're
innit?
starting. They don't know we're on yet.
That long day behind you, good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile in your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and let our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern.
I'm gonna do the African Anteater dance from Can't Buy Me Love. Ed, look at all the white people dance. You're welcome. Okay, and welcome to Monday, July 8th episode of Talk of the Tavern, which is 12 fucking rules for success, part 2. I am your host, Travis Sivart, and we have this, you know what, should we do the opening toast now or after intros? What do you think, guys?
Why not both?
After intros?
We could do both, just because I've got this cool new thing where anybody could type ! Quote, and here's a toast. So real happiness doesn't come in big things, but enjoying the small things in life. Here's to that.
Here's to that. Clinky, clinky. Here.
Oh,
Something just showed up on my screen. I don't know what it is.
is it the big quote that I put? Because there's more to it. But okay. So let's see. Let's do some introductions. Now we have 6 of us, which was a little challenging. We have 7, including that cat, and then the other cats. It's
I have a cat on the shirt.
there. You go. Everybody see her pussy?
Demon cat.
Somebody's talking to you.
What?
It was good for me.
Yeah, I said hi to Violet.
There's Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Gary, how
What up,
are you?
Hey,
Gary.
It's okay. Let's do some introductions. I'm just going to start to my up here. Which way? Sorry,
Stop poking.
I have to. It's Chris. We're going to start with Chris, and then we'll go clockwise from there. Chris, why don't you start by introducing yourself? Tell them why you're awesome.
I'm Chris, and I'm awesome because I'm awesome.
You work at the theater.
Yeah, this is our sound and
Yeah.
light tech guy who's working on a voiceover for the new intro for my D&D game. But we'll get back to that. By the way, my vices tonight is I've got a mixed blend of pipe tobacco in olive wood pipes made by a friend of mine who has passed on, was a great fucking pipe carver. Some Henry McKenna bourbon and some Coke Zero. Chris, what are your vices tonight, buddy?
Dr. Pepper, like always.
And that's it?
Just Dr. Pepper.
And masturbating?
Well, yes, but you can't see that.
No,
so, you know.
no.
We don't talk about the cum sock.
No, and you don't want to make the cumsock talk either. That is like the nastiest hand going above Chris, going over Chris's head, we have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, tell them who you are, why you're awesome, and what your vices are.
Well, it's not easy being Madam Sex Goddess, but I do it well.
Me too.
Bringing awesomeness to all those around. Tonight I'm drinking just a lovely shard. I think it's called Dream Tree Shard. It was on sale. And as always, wada wada wada.
Which is like Fozzie Bear's cousin who has the hair lip. Of course, I guess technically Fozzie Bear has a hair lip too.
Waka waka.
It's summertime. Drink your water.
That's right. It's
That's right.
now moving to the center of the screen, we have poor Ed.
What up, people?
What up, Ed?
Yeah, this shit. This is what I'm drinking.
What are you drinking? What is
Some
that?
kinda
Tea.
Pure leaf, peach flavored tea. And, well, I'm awesome because God was already taken.
Yeah.
Who took him, and was it consensual?
No.
Probably not.
Okay, Kevin, you're up.
Hooray! I am. A bit more than the rest of you. I am. Thank you very much. Why am I awesome this week?
Apparently
Not
your
dead.
heart problems are calming down
I'm-
if you're up right now.
My vice tonight will be strong black coffee, And since I've recently quit smoking and there's no tobacco in the house, I'll also be eating a very large packet of double chocolate chip cookies this evening.
Oh, hold on. Can you hold that up for a second again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you put your cookies in one of your condoms?
Not the cum
Yeah,
sock.
well, you know, I'm not using them for anything else at the moment.
Look at Chris, just throwing the drinks around to everybody. You're welcome, everybody. Way to go, Chris. Now, Kevin, did you cover all the things? Can I pass it on to my favorite person in the room with me?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. By the way, Kevin, Gary has pointed out that you have a good one.
I have a good one.
I think he likes your
Thanks.
cum sock or your cookie condom, whatever that was. Andrea?
Okay, my vices tonight. I've already ate like 4 of them since I sat down 20 minutes ago. I have donuts.
What kind of donuts are they?
Plain donuts. I don't like stuff in my donuts. They're plain donuts.
Which really ruined the bedroom surprise that one night. But go on.
Coffee. That's my vices. That's it.
Okay. Now, a few things before we go on and talk about the highlights of everybody's week here. I want to remind everybody that you can subscribe to the channel at no cost to you using Twitch Prime, such as Gary has done, Chris has done, Jake did earlier tonight. Elizabeth, I think you're Twitch Prime also, aren't you?
I am.
And we really appreciate that, guys. It helps us keep the show going as well as debauchery. There's Chris right there.
Yeah.
Chris, is that a real one or is that Twitch Prime? Do you pay money?
No, I pay you money. I use my Twitch Prime other places.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Here's to Chris.
Here's to Baby
One
Shark.
more reason he's awesome.
Baby shark, do 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 do.
So yeah, you guys can subscribe, help support us, and don't forget you can get bits for free by watching ads. I'll post shit like that as we go into break in about an hour. Other things I want to point out is the follower goal is almost maxed out, just 30 or so to go, as well as the subscriber goal of 10. We're almost there, and I'm pretty damn excited. Now, normally, as in last week only, we made this a subscriber, VIP, and mod only stream, and it worked out great. But I had 4 other people, including Violet, who said they were going to come hang out with us. So I did not
Just
make it.
for you.
Yeah, I didn't make it the VS and M stream tonight. I wanted to leave it open for everybody. So, there we go. So who had anybody? What's that? Does anybody highlight this? There's Jake. He subscribed with Twitch Prime.
Is that Jake?
That is Jake.
It
Boneless.
says Jay.
I know, but you can call him Jay if you want to.
No, that's Jake from State Farm. He wears khakis.
That is you, Violet, and Boneless. So you were 2 of the folks who said you were going to be, John, how are you? I have missed you during the day. I'm writing during the day, and I don't see you anymore. By the way, everybody who's been listening this week, Conquest Publishing is John, who plays in our D&D games Sunday night. He's also the one that has said, and I say it that way because I know life happens, he has said he's going to do the art for our intro trailer for every episode of the D&D game, and I am fucking excited by that.
I saw him for like 20 seconds today on my way.
Did you give him things and run
I
along?
did, because I had to go to my appointment. So, yeah.
So, who had something awesome this week? Who has a highlight of the week, awesome or otherwise?
Oh, nothing.
No, I think
No
we're
way.
going to just turn our attention down. There's Ed trying to distract me with bits. Hey, look how awesome Ed's bits are. Put them on your face, everybody. Touch them. Put them in your mouth. There we go. So, Ed, apparently you had a bit of a tripping hazard this week from what I hear?
Andrea said I tripped over my dick, so I think I'll just leave it at that.
No, what happened when you tripped on your dick?
I fell off of a 5-foot loading dock and broke my leg in 2 places.
Oh my God. How's your hip? Because I know you're really old now.
Yeah, hip was fine. It was fine. No, what actually, I work as a security officer. And after last Monday night show, as a matter of fact,
Oh man.
I was walking around a building, huge warehouse place, and a little angry raccoon decided, hey, I want to bite you.
Ed, are you telling me you got attacked by a coon?
He didn't get me because I jumped off of a 5-foot loading dock and broke my leg in 2 places.
Where do you where?
Like one bone twice, or like one of each bone?
1 bone on each end, just above the ankle and just below the knee.
Now, was it your tibia and fibula, or both breaks on your fibula or tibula?
Whichever is the outside one, I don't know. Which
Tibia, I
one is
believe.
that? Okay, whichever one is the outside one.
The spring. Yeah.
I didn't know. I jumped up and started running, and
Oh man!
hell, I ran on it for a good quarter of a mile before slowing down. And
Did it have rabies?
called. I don't know. He did not get me. He got away. Called my boss about 2 hours later and was like, might want to come up here. We probably need to talk to the client. I got chased by an angry raccoon last night. And of course, I'm not going to the doctor. So I drove myself home from work and got home, pulled my boot off and screamed fucking bloody murder and said, I'm going to the doctor.
So left leg, I'm guessing.
Right leg.
Right
oh my
leg.
God.
Right leg.
And do you drive a stick shift or not?
No.
Okay, so. Oh man. So hairline fracture or just a break?
Hairline fracture. But
Still very painful. That's why it's splinted. Is it cast or splint?
it's only splinted. I still got to go to an orthopedic surgeon Friday so they can check it out, follow up. Sprained my wrist, 2 bruised ribs. Yeah, fucked myself up pretty good.
Sprained your wrist, 2 bruised ribs. Damn.
Did they at least give you a day off of work?
I've been off work since.
Are you going to work tonight?
No.
So, if we can find a way to recline you, you can stay the whole show.
I took my brace off, so I'm pretty good right now.
All right. So, why are you only drinking tea tonight instead of a blood thinner?
Because
Painkillers.
I'm going to take the Vicodin when I get off the show and go to sleep.
Yeah, you'll have 7.5 minutes to get from the sink where you had the water up your 5 steps to your room.
Just lay in bed and take it.
Yeah, just... man. But thank you for the bits also. And yeah, sorry to hear that fucking happened. But this is what you got to do to get time off.
There's an easy
Yeah.
way.
By the way, I want to throw a quick fuck you to both Ed and Kevin, because I have a week coming up where I'm going to be working 50 to 60 hours, an extra 10 for the commute, and I'm like, I cannot even whine and cry because these assholes have been doing that shit for weeks on end, months on end. So I can't even come here and, panhandle for sympathy because they're like, oh, 1 week. And? Jerks.
All right, do not break your leg or have a heart attack. Just take time off, okay?
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
neither of these are officially recommended methods of getting time off work.
I'm curious. Now, Kevin is 43. Ed, you're what, 52?
54.
54. And I will be, what are you, 19?
84.
What? Stop. I'm doing the math. I'm trying to figure out if I'm exactly between their 2 ages. Okay, who else has a highlight from the past 7 days? Andrea's biting her lip.
I didn't meet Guardian of the Galaxy, that's for sure. Rocket. Don't fuck with Rocket.
One of my friends posted it on Facebook. He posted Rocket. Yeah, this is what it thinks he saw is what he posted.
Hey man, every wildlife handler I know says they would rather deal with almost anything besides a raccoon, a pissed off raccoon.
They have like thumbs and nails.
And if you give them phone, they have thumbnails.
It's like a slightly better armed attack cat.
Yeah.
So what about you, Kevin? What do you have going in the past 7 days?
In the last 7 days, I've been making full use of the fact that I've been off work and completely inactive. So apart from the usual sort of daily walks, which is nice, just wandering around my local town, I've been investing myself in some playing computer games, reading lots of books, playing Magic, and generally doing all the stuff that normally I get shouted at by my wife as wasting my time, which has now become glad to see you finding constructive things to do.
Nice.
Thanks,
Win-win.
Joey.
Yeah, Toei showing a little support to Ed, or aggression, so apparently just give Toei your wallet, because she's got 3 raccoons coming your way. It's, good times there, good times. And I want to say hello to everybody else who is popping in, who is keeping silent. You know who you are. It's good to see you guys, too. I'm not going to call you out. Sit back, relax, enjoy the chatter. As for the rest of you, jump in. Ed or Andrew will read off your comments if I'm not paying attention, which is a good chance because I don't care. So, Andrew, what about your week? Anything interesting go on with your week?
Well, today,
Yes.
I have a picture.
You have a picture. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I went to the dentist. That kind of sucked, but whatever. Took the kid to the store, and on the way home, because it takes almost 2 hours for us to drive home from Target. There was this car behind us. It was cute at first. Bright yellow car with an old lady with the bow in her hair, because I could see in the rear view mirror. The car had lashes and a red nose. 45 minutes after driving, the thing is still behind us, and we're on a road that not too many people travel. It's kind of creepy. All I can think of is like it. But let's see if you can see the car. I took a picture of my rear view mirror.
Hold on. It's focusing. It's focusing.
It's creepy though. Hold on.
Is it me or does it have buck teeth? Is that like Mater?
It's just weird because it had eyelashes and a nose on it. It was a clown car. Clowns were following me, people.
Nice. And Jay,
They're
just so
coming
you
to
know,
get you.
the loose screw thing is from 20 years ago. That woman has had a screw loose in her head for about 20 years
A
now.
little more.
Little more.
Because I got it done when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, 30, 40 years ago.
10 years ago.
I told you, me. Did I not make this clear earlier? Now, what about you, Elizabeth? Anything exciting go on in your world in the past week?
In clowns or raccoons?
Raccoon
Actually,
clowns?
I've kind of had a realization and an actualization and then support. I've decided, what if we had a lot more control in our lives than we think we do? And what if, I don't know, like I was talking to a friend and we're actually sitting on the beach, and she's the one I went to Puerto Rico with. She's really a neat person. We get along great. And I was mentioning to her how I was focusing on meditation and aligning my chakra to try to lower my blood pressure and keep it low to stay off medication. And she confessed she does it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how often you do it. And so the question started coming into my mind, like, what if I actively, throughout the day, paid attention to my body, not just my physical body and my spiritual body, and started focusing on that and keeping balance at that level, what would happen? And, it's, of course, as soon as you start doing that, there's reactions. The balance is adjusting. But I'd like to point out tonight, I didn't have any technical difficulties. First
Makes a
time ever.
You just
It
passed them on.
might really be, huh? And by the way, did you start listening to that audiobook I gave you? Because this is all in it relates to the audiobook that I passed to you and Chris.
I have not. I will. I have
Okay.
not.
Now, if
It's
you
just-
didn't download it, it's now gone. I took it off because I only have so much room in my Google account.
I think I downloaded it.
Good,
I started listening to it when I was doing yard work, and I couldn't hear it. So then I thought, well, maybe, because it was just quiet in my headphones.
Yeah.
So then I thought, well, maybe I need to listen to what's going on in the yard. And this year we've been inundated with all sorts of babies. The fox keeps coming by, looking in the window. She has kits. There's deer everywhere. It's just, there's something else I need to be paying attention to, and that's what I'm doing.
Say?
Seems to be working.
What does the fox say?
That reminds me of the joke about the chainsaw and the
Hey, you
car
got a
horn.
cigarette?
Oh.
Sorry,
raccoon
Travis.
babies.
Go
Now, last but not least, Elizabeth, were you done before I turn this over to Chris?
I'm totally done. That was it.
Tell us a highlight of your week, Chris, or more than one if you have more than one.
I got a couple. So I went back up to my aunt's house for 4th of July to see my mom and my aunt, and put together all of the float stuff for the parade that I had built the week before while I was on vacation with them. That
What
I told
parade
you
was
all
this
about
again?
last week. But
What parade was this again?
this was like the 4th of July parade in her town.
Right. We have
And
new viewers.
they-
That's why I'm asking. Not everybody knows what went on.
Ah, gotcha. And the theme of the parade was first responders, so everyone had to, like, you know, create their float and march in the parade to, like, thank the first responders or whatever.
You know who my favorite
And
first
we ended up
responder is?
making a bunch of... What?
You know who my favorite first responder is?
Go on.
Moo. See, interrupting Cal. It's always the first to respond. Moo.
Should have seen that come.
Anyhow, go on. I'm sorry.
Moving on.
So, like, I helped them build a bunch of little, like, cars that people could wear. Well, it was a police car, an ambulance, and a fire truck and all that stuff. Well, they got the news today that they won first place in the contest of having best float and all of that. So that was super exciting.
That is.
And then at work today, I got new toys. I got
Vibrators?
$250 cable tester that I've been wanting for like 3 years, but there's never been money in the budget for it. And I said, fuck it, I'm gonna buy one anyway.
There you go.
Asking
Awesome.
forgiveness.
What?
Asking for forgiveness instead of permission.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's
Little
gonna
bit.
test all the cables.
All but one type, because
Oh,
it
true.
doesn't have that type of connector. So I have to build an adapter to adapt the proper way. But it's still, it's super exciting.
There's a sex reference in that. Hold on, I'm trying to... No, never mind. Let's just move
Yeah,
on.
there is.
Adapter.
I barely know her.
In fact, several. And then I made Travis add sound to his little screen changey bit today, and it makes me so happy.
I did. Now let me show everybody. For all our viewers, now you guys, Kevin, Elizabeth, Ed, you're not going to hear it, but for all our viewers, here it comes. So with the screen change, in case you guys haven't been paying attention, there's a mustache with like a classic Adam West Batman flashing color background. There you go. Ed turned on his sound, I think. Somebody did.
It wasn't me.
Somebody's got their sound on now.
Those are my donuts, fish.
So,
It wasn't me.
do you want me to do this thing so you can hear the sound?
No,
Whoever turned on their sound, do you want me to?
she can't hear you.
Sure.
Okay, you ready, Elizabeth? You got the sound on now?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Good.
I'll do it twice to get back to the screen we need to be at. She is cupping her phone to her ear.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, now there's a little sound, which Chris has pointed out is helpful to the viewers because if they're tabbed out doing something, when they hear that noise, they know I'm changing scenes, so something different is about to happen. Which might be me getting up
Brilliant.
to go refill my drink. Yeah, Chris said he felt like
Transitions are important.
they are, and I felt like that sound was a great option, and Chris very much had a lot to do with that happening because he hunted that sound down and then went, here's the sound. Now crop it and cut it and stick it and push it and turn it this way and... Perfect.
Pop it. Pull it.
Pop it. Pop it.
Twist it.
Twist it.
Twist
Yes,
it.
Andrea?
I was
Pop
gonna
it.
something really cool happened. I got these great earrings.
Oh, look at those. Oh, you gotta keep them still. Stop moving them. There you go.
Ooh, fancy.
They are pretty. They're like waterbender earrings
They're
or something.
glass. They're made of glass.
I was gonna ask if it was glass.
Yeah, they're so pretty. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So did anybody else have anything go on during the week that they want to talk about?
I'm still emotionally scarred from that trailer, Itsy Bitsy. That's the horror
Have
movie
not-
involving
Oh, the spider
spiders.
thing?
Nope.
Is that the spider one?
You can stop. We're
I-
good.
I did see the new Mulan trailer.
Oh, for
I did
live
as well.
action?
We
I'm
could
not
do
sure how I feel about it.
Who's the actress?
Exactly.
You know, there's a new Magnum PI TV show out,
Yep.
Yeah,
and Higgins is
Yeah,
a
it's
woman.
been out for a while.
Yeah, well,
yeah, it's.
Magnum PU.
Here we go. Elizabeth, here's another opening toast just for you. Listen carefully. It applies to you. When you know you're dreaming, you could change and influence your dreams. Waking is no different.
I'll drink to that.
You got your.
I'd buy that
best
for
friend.
$1.
$20.
Amen.
$20.
$20 is $20.
Toby says,
Go ahead.
hopefully no singing. I like the. Toby says, I like the Milan trailer. Hopefully no singing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake from State Farm says, I choose not to watch the Mulan trailer.
It's
That's
See, I
his
feel
name
like
now.
there
You
has
did-
to be singing, for one, because they're remaking the live action version of Mulan. There's going to be singing. Like it's, they
Oh,
did
but
the
they
same
have a
thing
real
for The
dragon.
Lion King. They did the same thing for Aladdin. It's just a live action remake,
Overdrive.
but it doesn't seem like it's actually
Holy shit.
following along the storyline of Mulan. So yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure
read a
how
thing
that's
on
gonna
it.
roll.
There will be some differences.
Toby.
What I want to ask here, not if I mute, it won't.
Hey, Overdrive.
I want to ask everybody's opinion. Is the remake of Lion King actually live action when it's all CG?
No, it's not.
No.
No, I want to see some real lions in there. I want to see their acting skills. I want to see the monkey hold the lion up.
The other lion attack and drag him off into the brush.
I want to see the outfit.
Is it all CG?
I don't actually
Pretty
know.
much, yeah.
I mean,
It-
I
it's
haven't
not
just
seen
like
it.
they did for Jungle Book and Dumbo, and which I didn't even realize there was going to be a live action Dumbo until I saw that it was already out in Redbox, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
With
Missed
Danny
that one
DeVito.
completely."
Danny DeVito, who, by the way, is in the new Jumanji movie coming out this winter,
I like Dana.
and he is the one possessing The Rock's body this time.
That is fabulous.
And Danny Glover is in Kevin Hart's body this time. So, by the way, Overdrive. First Toei said it's still a ripoff of Kimba the White Lion. And Overdrive says, I've never been a fan of Disney, period. When my son was growing up, he wasn't either. Maybe it's genetic. It is possible.
I don't like anybody's period things, you know.
Of the Disney period. Every time I bleed, it comes out singing. I'm a woman.
Mute that shit.
Oh, that's the other end.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I didn't mind Mulan's songs. I thought that was a fun soundtrack.
Yeah, I
And
like
I
the
really
movie
liked
and everything.
the one about herself. Yeah. I thought it was one of my.
Mulan 2, those songs sucked.
Oh, I didn't even.
It was direct to video. Don't worry about it.
There was a reason.
Hey
Okay.
guys, I apologize. I got to step away for a second. I got a call I have to take.
Go on. Go on.
Okay,
We're going to
take it
move
easy,
into
be
the
careful.
topic here. We're going to move into the topic. Let me go ahead and pop down here and pull up the thing there, which this is always fun. Because now everybody gets to see the broken up thing. Let me put it like this. So last week we went over the 12 fucking rules for success. And we had such a good time with it, we only got halfway through. So we actually went through the first 6 rules of success. This is something I found on Instagram, written by Craig Harper, who I don't know who that is, but I really appreciate it and approve. So, now if anybody wants to see this, here's what I could do real quick. Let me just go add a quick image. We'll just call it, what are you giggling about now? Oh, wait, you want to read that? Go ahead.
Overdrive says the singing period kind of reminds me of the movie The Three Amigos. Bush singing like crazy. Are you the singing Bush?
Invisible Man.
There we go. Okay, so these are the rules, and we're going to go over them. Last week we went over
Verse 6.
number 1, do the fucking work, don't be lazy. Number 2, stop fucking waiting, it's time. 3, rely on yourself, the universe doesn't give a fuck. 4, be fucking practical, success is not a theory. 5, be productive early, don't fuck around all day. And 6, don't be a fucking baby, life's hard, get on with it. Now we're going to go over the rest, and I will pull that list up as we come and go. Ed, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay, everything all right, man? You good? Ed, everything all right? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So let's see here. We will start with number 7. Let me pop that list back up here real quick. Number 7, don't hang out with fuckwits. Now, before we just roll on, Chris, I want to remind you your mic is crap tonight. So if we interrupt you, if we talk over you, just a little handhold or, deep throat your mic. Because even if we can't hear you, if you're deep throating it, we're entertained. Don't put that in your mouth. You don't know where I put that when you weren't home.
Oh my god.
At least he muted himself before he put it in there. Otherwise, he'd have that really surprised look.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pillows
so
work too.
What, Ed?
Pillows work too.
Pillows work too. You know, in our merch shop, we do have a T-shirt and a pillow that says, "I'm not a sex pillow, but $20 is $20." Just to be clear. So number 7, don't hang out with fuckwits. Chris, since your mic is an issue tonight, let's start with you. Don't hang out with fuckwits.
We'll miss him.
What's that mean? Yeah, this is our way of letting you go. Bye-bye. So what does don't hang out with fuckwits mean in your head?
I mean, it's that if people are being dumb, constantly being dumb, and only trying to do dumb things that are not helpful to anyone in any shape, way, or form, even beyond the point of being slightly entertaining for a short amount of time. Move along.
Very good. Very good. Andrew, did you want to read that comment there?
Oh, yeah. I think anyone with a functional brain already knows these rules, but since we're fallible human beings that sometimes ignore logic, we tend to do whatever either feels good or the path of least resistance. Yeah, that's true.
And what about your thoughts on don't hang out fuckwits?
I don't usually hang out with the people I work with.
He's not lying. By the way, Andrea, let me know if the pipe smoke bothers you. And
No, but you ask me every 2 seconds, so hush.
Does it bother you now? What about now? What about Ed? Tell us about fuckwits, Ed.
Doesn't bother
Tell us
me.
a fuckwit story.
I don't know any fuckwits.
Really?
Really.
He doesn't associate.
Was there memory loss while you were broken your leg too?
No, I don't. I think I have fuckwit repellent or something because they all just stay away from me. So maybe because I just look at them and say, "You're an asshole. Go get away."
I was about to say management doesn't call that repellent. They call it being an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that calls a bad attitude, young man.
Okay. Then I have that.
Yeah, you do.
What about you, Elizabeth and Kevin? Who's got something on fuckwits? It doesn't that sound like a Russian, a Jewish Russian name? Here comes Earl Fuckowitz.
Well, let me respond with my grandfather always said this. He said, when you hang around garbage, eventually you start to stink. And I think fuckwits will do that to you. I think there's a quote from my current writing. A dictator is someone who lives to destroy. And I think a fuckwit is someone who lives to taint. And I think, and not the sexual thing. And I think a fuckwit loves nothing more than to ruin your focus or your drive, whether they're conscious of it or not. And if you are taking risks and committing to something, anything in your life, stay away from people who work against you.
Consciously or unconsciously.
I just want to say, she said dictator.
Yeah, she
And
did.
a taint.
She did. Welcome to the tavern.
What was that?
You said
I didn't.
dictator, and you said taint.
I did. Tater. I don't even like her.
It reminds me of watching Baywatch last night with Dwayne Johnson.
Love it. It'd be so funny.
There is a dictator. Well, it looks like a it's a dick that looks like a tater. And a taint, all in one scene.
Head full of balls.
There you go.
Kevin,
There
fuckwits?
you go.
Yeah, whole country full of them.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a famous T-shirt that quite a few people I know should have that says "You are not the fuckwit whisperer." Idiots, fuckwits, people who are ingrained in their ways, won't listen to any kind of argument. Have become locked into a particular mindset, especially one that's opposite something you believe. The temptation is to argue, to correct them, to get into some kind of discourse and try and engage them. The amount of energy that involves is largely a waste of fucking time. They are a fuckwit for a reason. Other people before you have tried to fix the fuckwit. It is broken. Stop trying to put new parts in it. Move the fuck on. Find a new human being who's not already a fuckwit.
No, Kevin, let me ask you a follow-up question regarding that. So
Yeah.
let's presume that from what you're saying, I could take away from that, if somebody is young enough, perhaps you can redirect them away from fuckwitticism to being a productive, straight-up asshole. So where is the age where you go, no, here's a general rule of don't bother trying to fix that fuckwit. He's too old, set in his ways.
Well, like everything in life, it's a sliding scale, isn't it?
It
I
is.
mean, yeah, there's a tendency to cut someone who's younger with less life experience to back up a poor decision a bit more slack. But at the end of the day, you're constantly balancing, how much effort am I going to have to put into training the fuckwit not to be fuckwitted against how much do I really need this person in my life? And frankly, that balance tilts very heavily once you get past about 30, 35.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, you're full of piss and vinegar, liberalism, tomorrow's my fellow man, I love everybody, people would help me up if they had the chance. And after that, you're like, you know what, I can't be bothered with you, just fuck off.
So you're less of a
Do
fuckwit when you're
sling your
older and
way.
bitter.
Well, no, you have much less fuckwit tolerance.
Ah, gotcha, okay.
Yeah, it's like a thin veneer of fuckwit tolerance that you have at the start of life, like a natural fuckwit repellent. Obviously, Ed's is super strong, His has remained with him and stayed strong to this day, but most of us have a certain amount of fuckwit repellent, and then after that it wears off real fast.
So I see Overdrive made a comment.
Mm-hmm.
Did one of you two want to address that real quick?
No, because I'm looking something up.
Okay. Overdrive says we're all fuckwits at one point or another. People don't realize... By the way, speak for yourself, fuckwit. People don't... I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Totally kidding. They are all fuckwits at some point. People then don't realize this suffer from cognitive dissonance. The very mention of the term Dunning-Kruger effect gives me the impression that the psychologists that coined the phrase possibly suffered from the very same thing they were studying. Andrea, were you Googling the Dunning-Kruger effect?
I was.
Excellent. What the hell is it?
Hold on.
Does anybody here know what it is off the top of their head?
Well, you're not going to call me names like that, your mama.
Oh.
What is it?
All right, basically it says, in the field of psychology, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people mistakenly assess their cognitive ability as greater than it is.
I do that with myself all the time. Yeah, I absolutely
that
think...
is the polite scientific definition of a fuckwit.
Well, I think we all do it. I tend to think my skill set is more valuable, and the way I
mine
know
is.
this...
I just know.
Well, like, working at Amazon, they're like, you have to... There we go. Toei says, I know the Freddy Krueger effect. Yeah, I wish we could trigger that more often. But at work, I'm like, oh, here's their their bar. You have to hit this quota. And I'm like, I can do that. And I don't. And I don't. And I don't. And eventually I hit their bar and surpass it by far. But it takes me a lot longer than I think it should. So this is why I know this definitely applies to me, the Dunning-Kruger effect, where, frankly, I think my worth is more than it actually is. There you go. At 27 says, Jay, you got it, man. By the way, I love that we have people intelligent enough to type that shit out and make us Google something once in a while. That's a big plus.
I like the Google. Damn it.
We do.
Well, okay. Overdrive says many of us overassess our abilities. But see, Yoda told me there's no try. Do.
Damn you, Yoda.
I noticed you left the rest of it off. You didn't have or do not. You're just like do. Apparently Yoda did not have the kind of patience with you that he had with Luke. He had a higher level of expectations. He's like, there you are. Shut up and do this shit.
Man always has to work harder.
What's that?
The black man always has to work harder.
Well, thank God you've got a penis at least, so you still don't have to work as hard as a woman. Oh!
We killed Elizabeth.
Elizabeth's new horror show.
Ed knocked her over with his penis.
That's the kind of raccoon she wants to be attacked
That's why
with.
he had to take the splint off.
Oh my. That was a good time. Thanks, Ed.
No, Overdrive, there is nothing wrong with having confidence, and there's also nothing wrong with having humility. Knowing your value and self-worth is a good thing. Just constantly overestimating it without being able to back it up is bullshit. Shit your mouth and do this shit, or I don't, or don't. I don't give a fuck, Yoda. Yeah, it's
Dirty, dirty Yoda.
Okay, let's go to the next one here.
Yoda, Sam Jackson.
Number 8. Don't fucking waste energy on shit you can't control. Don't fucking waste energy
That's
on
hard.
shit you can't control. Andrea, let's start with you on that one.
I want you to
Why is
start
that
with me.
hard?
Don't waste energy.
I can control this. No, it's hard.
Why is that hard?
I don't know, it just is. I want to control it, and it says no.
So what kind of things do you waste energy on that you can't control?
Like this, leave me alone.
Well, what about
See,
work?
I have that problem at work
Okay.
a lot.
Go on with that, Chris.
Well, it's like, I will... Part of it is because I start my day earlier than everyone else, and I'm like, all right, I've done all of these things. I need your responses. Like, come on, I know you're sitting at your desk. Why haven't you responded to this email? Like, I can't do my job until you do answer the goddamn email. I do it a lot when it stresses me out that I have to wait for other people to get shit done, and then I have other people going, hey, can you get me this shit? And I'm like, well, I can't until these other people get back to me on this thing that I sent them 3 days ago. So
why keep wasting energy on it if you know there's nothing you can do?
because it's who I am.
Toei is so fucking helpful tonight. She says, I prefer to be the thing that others can't control. And then she puts up more fucking raccoons. Which, by the way, the name of that emote, Ed, is Rack Attack. Yeah, if you type in RACC...
I thought that was like the party tit.
So, Ed, what about you with the whole... don't fucking waste energy on shit you can't control. Is there anything...
Oh, yeah, you know that from me. I mean, I am a leftover hippie from the 60s. Oh, well, that shit happened. Let me sit back. Tomorrow it'll be around and I can face that shit again. I don't give a shit.
But there have been a few things that have set you off.
Such as,
Stupid people. I've seen it.
I divorced her.
It's
There you go.
okay. Elizabeth, what about you?
She can divorce her.
The big one is worrying.
That's
That's
very
one of
true.
my weaknesses. And I've also realized the worrying kind of resides in the same realm as is turning the imagination off, the creativity off. You know, when I'm working on something, I'm thinking about it, I'll tend to get obsessed on something it's completely beyond my control, completely. And I have to just find a way to refocus that. In the mind, I got real lazy there for a while, and autopilot is to worry. So I'm refocusing on stopping that and just focusing on creating. I'll let you know if I get a handle on that. It's very destructive though, because what it does is it just keeps your heart rate going too hard, and it churns you in a negative way instead of, it blurs the vision. It blurs what you're focusing on. So it's not good to have an automatic response of negative. It's not good. So it's a waste of energy, waste of time. There's just some things you can't control, and there you go.
No plan survives contact with the enemy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very true. Kevin, some thoughts on this?
Sorry, I was miles away there. I've been having video problems my end. I was just trying to sort them out.
Do you want me to talk for a minute and give you a chance to get it fixed up?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Here's my thoughts on this. Most things people waste energy on, there are your co-workers or the weather or whatever. Now, some things you can cut off at the pass, like car problems, just by doing regular maintenance. But one day something's going to happen. Most people, though, it's regrets and worries. Now, regrets are living in your past. It's things that have already happened in your life, and you're constantly bringing them back up and churning them up and reliving them and clinging to them. Whether that's the passing of a loved one, something very dear, or whether that's I didn't get that college degree, or I slept with that person, or didn't sleep with that person. Living in the future is the worry, and that's, I'll be happy when I get that degree, or I'll be happy when I sleep with that person, or I'll be happy once I get my next paycheck and buy this thing. You're not living your life. You're busy being somewhere else that you cannot control at all. The only thing you can control is right here, right now, and your actions alone. I can't control how any one of you act. I can talk to you and hope that we can, figure out what we're doing and move together, but I can't control that. So like Ed said, I fucking worry about it.
Well,
Kev?
I think that's easier said than done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I largely agree with you. Wasting energy as well. It's not just about applying yourself physically or mentally to a particular job that you can't do. It's the amount of time and energy you can spend trying to overanalyze stuff in your own head, trying to plan for every contingency. And like Ed said a minute ago, you can make all the plans in the world. Something will come along to fuck with your plan, some contact with the enemy, some unforeseen act of God,
Yourself.
So to a certain extent, you can waste a huge amount of time trying to prevent anything going wrong when the simple answer is there's no way you can predict what could go wrong.
So Andrea just said the not dredging up the past or living in the past, or not worrying and living in the future, or waiting for something to happen for your happiness or effectiveness is easier said than done. So does anybody have a quick suggestion of how to move in that direction where you don't do that?
You have to make an effort to reset your mind when you start getting in that. It's practice.
Oh, absolutely.
Ed does it via camping.
True. Well, this past weekend, I haven't been camping in a while. Broke my leg. Looks like I'm going to be homebound for a while. I made the wife just pound me in a car and drive some back roads, man.
So let me get this straight. You break your leg and she takes you out in the woods and drops you off.
You damn right she did.
That's a beautiful woman right there.
She is.
It's like Sparta in Ed's neck of the woods. A broken leg, they're going to make sure if he doesn't make it back from the wild on his own, well then it's the way it was meant to be.
Oh, you don't know how many people have given me shit. You hike and camp and kayak and run through the mountains all the time. You let a little raccoon in the middle of the city kick your ass.
No, there's a difference between a city raccoon and a country raccoon. City raccoon got a fucking knife. It's So Andrea says you got to reset your mind, which we then said there's ways to do this, such as getting away from everything so you can disconnect by being away from it all and then reconnect. Any other quick thoughts before? Who just heavy breathed all over their mic? I want to hear from them.
It was me.
What was that big sigh about? What are you thinking?
It was work emails coming in about shit I got.
Are you worrying about shit you can't control again?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think you have to become active in the moment. I think you have to, at least I do, you have to be aware of what you're doing to yourself, and you have to take accountability to the fact that you are doing this to yourself, that no one else is adding the stress but you are. And to change your mindset, to acknowledge when you're stuck in whatever cycle you get stuck and you're tumbling around, to notice it, and then to actively change your thought pattern to do it.
Well, I think for many of us, it's conditioned behavior. It's almost like smoking or being on drugs or anything else. So
absolutely.
To break it's going to take work.
It's going to take work, and it never ends.
Yeah.
No.
You'll get better at it for a while, and then you'll slip up and have a few drinks, and I'll just have one cigarette.
Let me point this out. I'm going to use Chris as an example. If I turned to Chris and went, "What about that work email? What about that work email? Oh, can't you do that thing at work? Can't you do?" Chris would be like, "Shut the fuck up and leave me alone." But we do it to ourselves and never think twice about it. But if any outside person came at us like that, we'd be like, "The fuck you out!"
Shut the fuck up.
And I want to read
Hi.
Overdrive's comment here. Back to what Elizabeth mentioned, certainly an automatic negative response obviously isn't helpful. But how about sarcasm? I'll never understand how the phrase sarcasm as the lowest form of wit ever came into being. I think its author possibly didn't fully understand sarcasm. See my own version of Dunning-Kruger.
There's the memes that you see sometimes creating new words showing you a dictionary definition for something that should exist. One of my favourite one of those ever was sarcasm, spelt with like a chasm in rock, CHASM, and the definition was the gap between the sarcasm you've interjected into the conversation and the knowledge level of the dumb fuck who doesn't understand it.
All the time at work, and I always find it more amusing when they don't get it. And thank goodness I have an intelligent, amazing woman like Andrea at my side who does get it, and she'll see me. Go ahead, Kev.
I was going to say, I fully agree, with that comment about never understood why it was the lowest form of it. I think it's one of the highest, because if you do it right, the people you're taking the piss out of don't understand you've just taken the piss out of them.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the best thing about it. It's comedy only for the people who are smart enough to get it.
Yeah, and that's
it's funnier when you have to explain it.
See, some people say it's not. I'm like, no, it is. It's funnier to me, at least.
It is.
It's just like there's times I will use sarcasm and I'll see one person get it, and they'll look at me to check to see if I'm fucking with this other person, and all I'll say is the smart people get it, and I'll walk away.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
my favorite though are the people who don't get it, because I'm one of these who ask for you to explain it, and then they even laugh because they realize it's funny.
It's the old thing of MIT isn't here or MTI isn't here, but you explain, why does the blonde laugh at the joke 3 times? Once when you tell it, once when you explain it, 3rd time when she gets it. Let me explain it, Elizabeth.
I was watching the person behind Ed. The guy.
There's nobody behind Ed.
There was.
Sure.
Did you not notice?
Okay, let's move on to number 8 here. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Oh, wait, that was 8. Number 9. Stop bullshitting. It's fucking embarrassing. Stop bullshitting. It's fucking embarrassing. I think this goes back to what we were saying about confidence. Oh, Andrea, I just heard a huge sigh out of you.
No, I'm not even saying that on air.
Oh,
Was it about me?
No,
Are you? What?
no, because I'll say that on air.
No, what?
No, it's about that. Stop bullshitting. I will. No.
Show of hands, who's curious what the fuck she's talking about right now?
Someone at work.
Okay, you don't have to use names. Why don't we just use the name Jim Bob?
No, because that's too close.
Really? Because we live in Redneckville. How about Thaddeus? Tell us what Thaddeus did.
I probably told you this already.
Maybe, but you didn't tell the whole world.
Okay. This person, Thaddeus, was talking about, oh, I can't come in early because I work for the FBI during the day.
jeez.
So
Okay.
they call me whenever they have a hard case. I'm sitting there hearing this conversation, trying not to laugh. But it's like, stop the bullshit.
Okay, I think your little story there perfectly referenced this. Totally. Stop bullshitting. It's fucking
just
embarrassing.
No. So yeah, that's, there you go.
Now let's throw this over to Elizabeth. Go ahead.
Okay, I think this also refers back to the, I can't remember what we called it, that state where someone thinks they're smarter than they are.
Dunning-Kruger.
What does he think? He's the equalizer? Working in kindergarten. Oh, you want me to expand on that?
You can or you don't have to. This is the kind of thing. My brother would exaggerate to the point where it's just short of a lie. And he would do it often enough, he would start to believe it.
Believe it.
Oh, by the way, it is almost 9 o'clock. Do we need a quick break here? Chris?
I do.
Okay, he's saying yes to a quick break. Jake is heading into lurking. We're going to take a quick break. Show of hands, who is staying at their camera?
No, I'm going to get tea.
Okay, really, Elizabeth? Wow. You and me will hang out then. We won't go into a video break. We will just continue to hang out and discuss this until they get back.
Don't let
Then we'll
FBI
roll into
maybe
this
want
week
you.
in history. And
I can go on I can expand on the bullshit.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
All right, here's an example. I'm in New York, working freelance editing with Don. You know Don.
Mhm.
And we're in the back office just crunching it, working hard. And someone I know comes in, and he sees me, and then he says, "Oh, Elizabeth," so tries to distract me from getting my work done. And every time I see this person, I call him the magician, you know, so you watch this hand while this other hand's doing something, you know, and he goes on and on about all the stuff he's going to do, all the script he's going to write, how he's going to make a film, how blah, blah, blah. And I let him go on for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and finally I say, "Look, so-and-so, I got to get back to work, you know."
You can call him Thaddeus if you want.
"Oh, look, Thaddeus, I got to get back to work, you know. Go talk with the other people in the other room. All right, see you later." And when he leaves, I said to Don, I said, "Create or get the fuck out."
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I want to
for me.
respond.
There's always the people that talk the talk, and there's people that walk the walk.
Overdrive
Decide.
here says, what's worse are the retards that fall for the bullshitter's hook, line, and sinker. This reminds me of a quote from Star Wars. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Alec Guinness at that point in time, said, "Who is the bigger fool? The fool or the fools that follow him?" And that is absolutely true. As I mentioned with my brother, he would exaggerate to the point of lying. And he would say it often enough, he would begin to believe it. And then it was a fact. And he would call you a liar when you countered it with what actually happened. Even multiple people. So,
Well, I
Good.
agree. A fun example, I remember at CalArts, I was there and I was at someone's house, our apartment, and we're all just getting along chatting. And this one artist, I never really seen his work, but he sits down and he grabs the Etch-a-Sketch, the little kind of magnetic thing you draw, the 2 dials.
I love them.
He drew a 6-shooter,
Wow.
a revolving pistol. It was unbelievably good. I just sat there holding it in my hands. He handed it over to me. Sometimes, if you don't need to say anything if you're good.
No,
Just show it.
you don't need to brag. And I've had people accuse me of bragging. I'm like, there she goes again. I think she just gets angry at me and punches her fucking camera going, shut up, Travis. We had a great example. She's taping it up. She like little phone BDSM going on here. We had a viewer who was a, I guess, semi-popular streamer, and they're all back. We're going into This Week in History in a second. But he came in one day talking about how he would take 2 gallons of ice cream and a 1.75 of vodka and eat them together. And Andrea mentioned she had just learned how to knit, and this guy says, I learned how to knit within... I made a full... within 3 hours I made a full sweater. And it's just embarrassing.
That reminds me, I should have grabbed my knitting stuff.
You should have. Cage, how are you? Pardon us here a second. Don't go anywhere. We're just going into This Week in History. Let's get a little intro for Ed here. God, I hope he's playing a trombone and not masturbating. I don't know. Hey, Ed, what happened this week in history?
Hey, This Week in History, shit happening on Thanksgiving for the long tribute there. Kept it short this week so we can continue on with, what we're talking about.
Okay.
Just
Skipper!
5 quick movies. Yeah.
Skipper popped in Overdrive. I'll read your comment after we make this short This Week in History. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, 15 years ago. The Marvel movie that sucked, Fantastic Four.
I heard Dark Phoenix bombed as bad as the most recent Fantastic Four movie, and I don't know why. Has anybody seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Any of our viewers seen it? Was it bad? Or is it just, are people tired of it?
Maybe everybody was too busy to watch it.
For me, X-Men has just about run its course for me. I don't know.
Well, they're up to like 12 X-Men movies all by themselves, and I exaggerate. I think it's just actually 9 or something like that.
After Logan, I'm done.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do Dark Phoenix with those thigh-high boots, with the scarf around her waist, with the flowing red hair...
I just want to point out, that's how I do it at home.
It is.
I've seen it. I love it. I don't know. It just didn't... I'll go watch most any movie. It just didn't ring my bell. It just was a boring trailer. Yeah.
I'm going to see it, but I don't think... Okay, John chimes in Overdrive. I have no problem reading it. We'll just get back to it when we can actually respond to it full length, so bear with us. John says a lot of customers were not impressed. John runs a comic and gaming store. So I think a DVD, Blu-ray, Redbox streaming is the way to go for seeing this, for me.
Yeah, same here.
Barring a cheap day, a cheap movie-going day where I have nothing better to do.
I typed all that and it went away.
I hate that.
Damn.
What else happened this week besides Fantastic Four sucking? Does anybody here hope to see another Fantastic Four movie?
No.
Did anybody here actually want to see one in the first place?
I did. I like the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I mean, at least I thoroughly enjoyed the 90s cartoon. Because I watched it
with Herbie the robot?
What?
With Herbie the robot? Sorry, that's the 80s cartoon. Yeah, that's look that shit up. Enjoy.
Yeah.
What are you eating, Chris? Is that an Italian icy?
Luigi's real Italian ice. Come on. There's my face.
It's got to be real if his name's Luigi.
It won't unblur.
Jake, have a good one, man. We might pop over there in a bit. After the stream here, we'll see. We've got at least another hour, possibly more if it's going well and nobody's falling out of their chairs. Okay. So, yeah, it's Elizabeth has more tape. Oh, by the way, Jake, before you leave, throw up a exclamation point me, please. Let everybody know about your stream. They can follow you and all that good stuff if you like. Please feel free to promote yourself shamelessly. Pop that up there, man. If you've already left, then too bad, so sad. That's a lot to type out. I'm not doing it. Because I'm an asshole. Ed, what else happened this week in history?
19 years ago, Scary Movie.
Okay, that was a great fucking movie.
That was fun.
I'm ashamed to say I liked it.
I loved it.
It's fun.
The first one was good.
Yeah.
Because it made fun of everything and was the successive ones.
And the one with the strong hands. Oh.
That was like part 3.
Whatever.
Which, if they had left the deleted scenes, in, I think it was part 2 or part 3. I watched the deleted scenes. I'm like, they needed to be in there.
Bye, Toey.
Toey is streaming tonight too. That's right. Pimp yourself, Toey. There we go. Is it popping up there? It's so slow.
My friend Madison only has 3.5 fingers on her one hand because she got the rest off in a table saw.
Wow.
But she likes to do the use the strong
See,
hand.
that's fucking awesome.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. You know what? I don't see her thing coming out. I am going to do a quick shout out for Toey there. It could be Streamlabs having an issue, so that...
Still not doing it.
There it
There
goes.
it goes.
Okay.
There it goes.
There we go. Okay.
I guess I'm following Jake already.
Possibly.
Was he on here before?
There you go. Take my strong hand. It's
Oh, it's... Oh.
Yeah, Scary Movie is great. The twist ending that had nothing to do with horror movies was great. There it is. Shameless self-promotion. It just took a moment to cough it up. John, drive safe, man. I hope to see you hanging out in the morning as I'm writing, and if not, yeah, let me know when you got some art. I am so excited about that.
We need to make a day to go down there and have...
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah. John, we need a breakfast date with you. It will be after the 20th.
Go to that place by the shop. It's nice.
Yeah, that little country western horse restaurant. Anyhow, okay, Ed, what else happened?
25 years ago, Forrest Gump.
Okay.
My name's Forrest Gump.
I have a stack of
I got
movies.
shot in the buttocks.
I have a stack of movies I want to show my son, and includes Schindler's List, The Butler, Hidden Figures, Forrest Gump,
All these would make you cry.
Saving Private Ryan, because I want these, though they're entertaining, they have a lot of history context, a lot relating to civil rights, human rights, and I want him to see how horrible humans can be, but how great they can be at the same
You need to
time.
watch The Help, too.
The Help, that's in the list.
I love that movie.
Almost dead.
Yeah, I've never seen it, Ed.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh.
And 12 Years a Slave, I've never
so
seen that
good.
either. So, those are two I need to get a copy
I
of
don't
and
think
watch.
I have those on DVD. I had them on VHS. I'll have to get them.
It's, some other possibilities. I Am Sam. It's not a historic civil rights type thing, but what a movie.
That's a good movie.
We need to finish watching. You need to finish watching Sling Blade.
Yeah, I was trying to watch Sling Blade the other night, and the internet was crap, and it kept resetting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You had to get some French fried potatoes.
French fried toast. He'd never seen it. I'm like, oh my god, we gotta watch it.
And I still didn't get far enough into it that he actually said that line. That every time I'm like,
He did.
Sling
I'm
Blade,
like,
people are
wait
like,
for it.
no, he never
Oh,
said.
he didn't say it. Yeah.
No, the other guy said, we have French fries. And I assumed later he's like, French
French
fries.
fries.
And then I started imitating the voice for Andrea, and she's like, stop it. Don't talk.
Yeah, just shut up.
It's better than another voice.
Oh no, he gets smacked for that.
You're a pervert.
Stop it!
Gary says, anybody figure out why there isn't any potato famine movies? Well, it's because we don't approve of those type of movies. We like our taters. And we're not going to give up our pot of
we
gold
have
for your...
UHF. Love it. It's on the shelf. I bought it for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
God, I love that. Who wants to drink from the fire hose?
Yeah, that was a good one. And all his parodies. Okay, what else happened?
21 years ago, Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth, motherfucker.
I thought America was older than that.
Well, I don't know. With George Washington flying around in planes and all.
Oh, don't get me
That was
started.
Thomas
I had
Jefferson.
So many good memes this week out of that.
I know.
Oh, wasn't that Thomas Jefferson, not George Washington?
It was George Washington.
Oh,
He
was
did
it?
That's how he got across the Delaware.
Okay, just when we do the Trump scares me, change my mind. I want everybody else to keep in mind it's Trump scares me, not Trump amuses me, so don't bring these things up. It's
It's hard not to.
I don't even know what Ed just said. Independence Day, Part 2, meh. And
1,
well, I'm talking about Part
Yeah.
2 is meh.
2.
Yeah, we
And
saw that, didn't we?
we did, and Brent Spiner.
I saw his butt. You see his butt in
You
the
saw his
movie.
butt? You seen Data's butt?
In
Yeah.
the movie.
In the movie.
In the movie.
It's
Oh,
his
really?
U.S. butt slot.
Why? Why would we? Why? Why? Why would you,
You know
do that?
hospital
to
gowns, you know? The back is open.
Oh. Yeah, it happens.
Could you see what size his data packet was?
Ed, would you care
Or his
to
RAM.
would you care to address Overdrive's comment there, please, or question, please?
Wait, what? George Washington and Thomas Jefferson flying around in a jet. Did I miss something? Yeah. It's been all over social media, man. That's how
What?
they beat them pesky Brits.
Oh, I
With
see.
14 fighter planes, apparently.
I'm not on social media. Who
My
said that?
my
And-
favourite meme of the week.
It's
my
got to
favourite
be
meme of the
true.
week was the one with Tom Cruise doing the eye click like that, and it was the caption underneath was "Top Musket."
Jamin says Washington borrowed Jefferson's airplane. That's the meme I saw where Jefferson's airplane was named after Thomas Jefferson's biplane, or something like that. So was this something that Trump said in his 4th of July speech? Is that what happened?
See, I don't pay attention. I'll Google it later.
Yeah,
This
I think
is
so.
Overdrive. This is not social media. This is Talk of the Tavern. So you're still okay.
I don't-
Social media.
I
What it-
didn't listen to his speech, but I took it to mean how stupid fucking people are.
Fair
But-
point.
They know nothing about history.
No.
Period. Yeah.
Now, what I would have to say is anybody who is more than mocking this, but believing that this was said in stupidity on Trump's part, go listen to the speech. Make sure you hear 2-3 sentences before and 2-3 sentences
Was he being
afterwards.
sarcastic or yeah?
Yeah, because find out, is he the moron or is he mocking the morons?
I don't think he's that stupid.
Yeah, I don't.
I think he's a very
Yeah.
smart person who does some not so smart
I
stuff.
think
but-
he does
Yeah, he
inflammatory
ran for president.
things
That wasn't
on
really
purpose.
smart.
Oh yeah, because he gets some attention. It's business.
Which idiots don't do inflammatory things on purpose, they do it on accident. And Overdrive says, I listened to the speech, it seemed like sarcasm.
Yeah.
So,
No matter what, somebody's going to take it out of context.
and by the way, if you do take something out of context and quote it, now you're the idiot. Stop bullshitting, it's fucking embarrassing.
Are you playing drums, Elizabeth? What the hell? She's got her drum kit
I
out.
refuse to get media accuracy or indeed truth in any form get in the way of sharing a damn good meme.
Oh, well, that's fair enough, Kevin. Ed, what else happened this week?
22 years ago, Men in Black was released.
How long
Are you
ago?
22 years? Are you just going to list all the Will Smith
I still want to
movies?
see the new one, and I haven't seen it
I
yet.
do. I do too.
Yeah, it's got Kevin in it.
You okay,
It looks
Elizabeth?
good.
Were you restraining yourself over this whole thing?
My money is on.
Oh, really? Okay.
I thought the first two were good. I did not care for the third one. I thought the third one was dumb and unnecessary for the whole thing.
I thought the first one was really fun and imaginative. I think I saw the second one. It was fun. You know,
By the way,
right. And
the
then
way
I
you
haven't seen any
guys-
others. This one scares me.
Don't see the third one. It's not worth it.
The way you guys feel about spiders is how I feel about cockroaches. So part 1 was horrifying for me. Especially that end scene where he's stepping on the roaches in the fucking dumpster.
And then the big one.
And then the big one. So anyhow, okay, Ed, what else happened this week?
That's all I had for history. Andre, you want to talk about the baby pod?
Oh yeah, I
I'll
put
throw
it
the
in
link
here
up
somewhere.
here.
Hold on, I just gotta whip this out.
Hold on.
I did have a couple articles I thought about talking about, but I'm enjoying the regular topics so much, I'm gonna skip over them.
Wait a minute, I gotta scroll past the
Like
pictures.
the UK insulting our president,
Yeah,
Alright.
who cares?
which I don't actually have a problem with that. That kind of back channel stuff should be there with honest opinion. Okay, what is that?
Alright.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'll bring up something. Okay,
yeah.
so
Hold on,
I've
let
been
Andrea-
watching the world.
Let
I'm sorry, what?
Andrea finish hers. She's
Yeah,
showing her
alright.
thing.
Oh, I'm
You see
sorry,
that?
Andrea. I yield
Okay,
the
you
floor
see
to my
that?
comrade.
Okay. Introducing Baby Pod, the vaginal sound system to give your fetus a concert.
So, what exactly is this thing supposed to do?
Well, in this episodes of Things Not to Put Up Your Twat Tuesday, we have Baby Pod, the musical tampon that helps your baby
Wait, tampon?
somehow. The radio for your ladio, the jams for your clam, iTunes for your poon. It's a subwoofer for your muffler. Yeah, don't put that in your vagina. Just no.
But it is okay to get your man.
It's a cooch concert.
It is okay to get your man to shout into your vagina, as long as he has rhythm and some can hold a tune. Yeah, singing.
Sure.
Very good, Overdrive. So you weren't kidding about the singing period, says Overdrive. it would be. Elizabeth, what did you have before Andrea had her thing there?
Good.
Elizabeth,
What? Huh? What? Ooh.
you
Your turn.
you had a thing?
I'm sorry, I can't see anyone. My phone got screwed up. I can only hear you guys, so forgive me. It's like radio. Okay.
So what's your thing?
I've been watching the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, and it was a great game, and they beat Netherlands 2-0. Okay. And then, everything was fine, and I wake up, and the first thing I see this morning is they're celebrating on the field, and one of the players, to do a little dance with the other players, drops an American flag in her hand, and then they are walking on it doing their little dance. And I gotta say, it was Kelly O'Hara, a player from Southern Cal, Go Trojans, that ran over and grabbed the flag off the ground. And it just kind of, it doesn't ruin everything for me, but it's just another thing when certain players are saying, I'm not going to the effing White House, and saying things politically when the American citizens are paying your bills. I mean, they're paying you, giving you money, and you're representing our country. It's okay to be gracious about it. It's okay to just kind of do your job and be thankful for a good paycheck and for representing us. And just little things like that I find don't sit right. Doesn't ruin the whole experience for me, but it certainly does sometimes make it hard to swallow.
Overdrive said he absolutely agrees with you, and honestly he finds that a scummy display. Now, referring back to the vagina thing, he says of all the asinine things to create, which I want to point out, it is not asinine, it's vagina-nine. Just saying.
And then you talk about the women's cup.
Yeah.
If you have to, if you play the national anthem in your vagina, do you have to stand?
Gary says, good for her grabbing the flag. Tasteless.
Agreed.
Now here's my thing. I'm not much bothered by people who protest by abusing the flag. But to do it out of carelessness, out of, I don't know, almost
Were these American
ignorance.
people on,
The American soccer team.
Did this on the American flag?
Well, they had the American flag. They were running around with it. From what Elizabeth says, and correct me if I'm wrong, they dropped it in their celebratory, and others were just
I mean, they
traipsing
didn't
across
throw
it.
it. It was dropped.
Yeah,
Oh,
somebody
okay.
lost grip of it, and other people just
I'll post it.
trotting across it, and then somebody else went and picked it up.
Okay.
Well, I mean, technically, we shouldn't be, let's see, wearing the flag as clothing, putting stickers of the flag up, using dining, like, plates,
And after it touches the ground, you're supposed
napkins,
to burn
any
it.
of that representing the flag is all, like, illegal, technically, based on what the Constitution says you're allowed to do with our flag.
Ed, what'd you say?
That was challenged and
Towards your mic, you're
decision
quiet.
made years and years ago that you're not supposed to wear the flag as clothing. You can put the flag on clothing. There is a difference. So
Well, isn't it also a thing if it touches the ground, you're supposed to burn it?
yeah,
Yep.
But not immediately.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Not like, hey, tear it down, throw it on the ground, burn it! That's a little different.
Well, you know, the Boy Scouts do, at least in not my area, they do retire the flags properly and they burn them.
They do.
So you can- You can bring damaged or old aged flags and they will retire them.
Which, by the way, I think...
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
please, finish.
All right. And I posted the other video, and you asked, like, why would you post that? You know, and it all comes the people fighting at Disneyland.
Allow me to
I think it
clarify.
really
In our
comes
private...
down to-
Hold on one second. Let me clarify
Excuse me,
for
go
all
ahead,
our
sir.
viewers.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, in our private Discord chat, posted a video of, in Disneyland, California, a group of people got into a fist fight. Like super tasteless, low class, piece of trash type fist fight, hair pulling, men and women against each other. Not like a brawl, but like a real fight, not like a good movie fight. And yeah, Elizabeth posted this, and before the show I questioned, I'm like, why would you even fucking post that? Is that entertainment? What the fuck is that? So go on, Elizabeth. Finish the thought there.
I find it, you know, we are the barometers of behavior in society. All of us are. You know, we help each other as friends, or we help our fellow citizens, our neighbors. And this is a sickness. This is a disease of situational awareness and lack of situational awareness and self-absorption. And people fighting at Disneyland, family members fighting at Disneyland, or people not handling the flag. You know, just put the flag over your shoulder, or how about not holding it if you want to dance and pose for pictures. It's symptomatic, and we need to become more aware of this, and I think courtesy comes along with this. And I'm trying to say this, and
Well,
I'm losing a train of thought.
think
But
we
I
could
just think it's
probably...
important that we, I think we can come together on an understanding on this point. And I'll stop because my mind is gone.
Okay, Ed, what else you got for this week in history?
I have nothing else but the comments. Overdrive says, and we're getting back to the baby pod here, as if people didn't already torture the unborn, now they're making them listen to Taylor Swift. That's inhumane. I so totally agree with you right there. If my mother had used a tampon speaker and made me listen to pop music when I was in utero, I had strangled myself with the umbilical cord. And Travis says, even disco. And he says, even more so, laugh out loud. But yeah, staying alive would have been appropriate.
It would have been. I asked, what about staying alive? And thank you, Andrew.
Staying alive. Because I was thinking the same thing, and then you typed it first.
There we go. Now, I want to flip back up here to Overdrive's big old long comment that he took the time and energy to fucking type out, and
Now, if you can find it.
deserve to read it. Regarding the bullshit, stop bullshitting. It's just embarrassing.
I don't say bullshit.
Yeah.
I work with a guy, Overdrive says, I work with a guy who constantly spews ridiculous bullshit. It's usually bullshit that's just random or some one-upmanship that so many others just gobble it up. I've heard some obvious to me, bullshit come out of his mouth, and so many people are just starry-eyed and amazed. I like to call out bullshit, by the way. I have been, by the way, if Jake was still here, he may have seen me do this at work. The other day, for example, somebody says, oh, by law, you have to take your 15-minute break. And I said straight to his face, bullshit, you're totally fucking wrong right there. Absolutely not. And he's like, no, it's the law. I'm like, no, company policy. But not the law. Not the fucking law. Go read that poster in the break room right over there. We're done.
Yeah.
And I shut him down. Overdrive is now making up new lyrics to Stay It Alive. Let's move on to the next one. Because we only have so much time.
I can't figure out why you would argue against taking a break, but okay.
Because if I sit down for a 15-minute break, I don't want to get back up. I want to go home. So I go, I use the bathroom, fill my water bottle, get back to work. And I have had other employees approach me and say, you're making us look bad. Why the hell aren't you taking your break? And I'm like, back off.
You don't have to do it.
You make you look bad.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm working.
I know. My only comment is our post office closes from 11 to 12 or something for lunch, and I have never had a job where I got a lunch break, ever. So must be nice.
I have many of them.
Take the break.
Now, like a lunch break is different, but I hate an hour lunch break because I'm like, it doesn't take me that long to eat. Just let me eat and get back to work. Number 10. And this one I can aim at myself. Stop being a fucking people pleaser. It's sad. Stop being
Unless
a fucking
you like them.
Stop being a fucking people pleaser. It's sad.
You mean like a fluffer?
$20 is $20.
Have I misread that again?
I'm not saying anything till Elizabeth finishes what she's doing there.
Nobody knows what.
Because that is not how fluffers do their job. Little less hands-on, more mouth-on.
I'm fluffing. No, fluffer fluffs.
What is that?
Those are elephantitis. That's what that is.
It's Ed. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
So, Chris, are you a bit of a people pleaser? Are you muted? Elizabeth, please take care of this.
Yes.
Are you a bit of a people pleaser, Chris?
Very much so.
So, does this strike home to you? Does it confuse you, or does it make sense?
I think it makes some sense. I can see where it could go wrong if you're taking it to an extreme and overworking yourself to make sure everything is perfect for other people, which I can say that I do often, especially in my line of work, where my needs are usually disregarded for the rest of the production and or the people that I'm currently trying to work with, when I'm juggling 3 designers, making sure they have everything that they need to do their jobs.
Here's what I'm going to do. We got the idea. I want to turn this over to Ed and go, Ed, help us poor saps out, because I don't feel... You're a damn nice guy, Ed, but I don't feel like you're a people pleaser.
Depends on the people.
So I'd like you to chime in on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would do almost anything for almost anyone. I could just meet you, and if there's something I can help you with, I do it for you. But I don't really consider that people pleasing, because I do it based upon what I think somebody else might need, and not necessarily to make myself feel good. To get the high for myself out of it. But and then some people, well, whatever. You fell on the floor and you can't get up? Too bad. So,
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily doing it to make myself feel good. It's, I don't know what that
I
feeling
think what
is.
this is saying is, and Elizabeth or Kevin, I'd love
Not
for you.
being a disappointment?
Hey, Kennedy. Thanks for popping in, man. We're talking about people pleasers.
Kennedy.
Andrea, are you waving or do you have a comment?
Waving to Kennedy.
Okay. So
Kevin
Elizabeth
Clark.
or Kevin, the comment here, the rule we're talking about is stop being a fucking people pleaser. It's sad. I think this speaks to you can help people, but only to a point. You have to stop at some point. Do either of you have a thought on either the original rule or anything else that's been said?
I think you're right. I think people pleaser. There's nothing wrong with being a nice guy, like Ed said, but you're not doing that specifically because you're looking to please that person. You're not seeking sort of adoration or confirmation from them. That's just because you're a nice guy and that's how you'd react towards them.
Confirmation
You're not doing
is key in
something. That's to me is the definition of a people pleaser. You're seeking that kind of positive reinforcement from them. Yes, well done. You've done a good job. Oh, thank you. Fuck you. I don't care whether I've done a good job or not. If I'm happy with it, that's what you're getting.
Yep.
Elizabeth, any thoughts?
Well, I wasn't sure what people pleaser meant, so I kind of looked it up online, and then it seems to me that when you're a people pleaser, that you jeopardize your own well-being because you either don't want to confront someone or you don't want to anger someone or you can't control people. You can only control yourself, and beyond that is a waste of time, what we discussed earlier. So you could do everything right and be absolutely and bend over backwards, and you'll just get screwed in the end. So just focus on your own shit and let people rally in their own.
Andrea?
Am I?
Well,
Or, what was the question?
there's no question. By the way, I'm going to read Overdrive's comment here.
Well,
Go ahead. You got it?
Well, mine's kind of the same. It's like, well, because she had to look up, Elizabeth had to look up what's a people pleaser. It's basically doing things for people to please them while not taking care of yourself. Even if it's not good for you, you're doing it to help them and make them happy. That's not always good. So now you can read his comment
Thank you.
because that goes along with it.
Overdrive has said there has to
Go
be
ahead.
there has to be a balance between being helpful to others while not being a detriment to yourself. And to me, I've seen many people with such a strong desire to be accepted coupled with detrimental behavior.
Mm-hmm.
This all ties into
Agreed.
bad relationships. What's the word I'm looking for, Andrea? Codependence.
Good, yeah.
Codependence, and by the way, this comes from my history. As a child, I was always a people pleaser, and I would do this to gain acceptance and approval from others. In my first marriage, my only marriage, I had the same thing. And by the way, I'm guessing from everything Andrea and I have discussed, she has experienced this in herself in her past. But it gets to a point where you realize if somebody is not giving as much as you're giving, stop fucking giving.
Yeah, same here. Same
That's
here.
why I
I
don't
was a
have
people
friends.
pleaser, and one day I got tired.
Mm-hmm. You were saying, Andrea, you have
You know
friends?
what?
Oh,
Go ahead, Andrea.
That's why I don't have friends like I used to, because I would do everything to kind of please them, make them happy. But when it came to me, I was an afterthought, so it's kind of like, done.
Elizabeth, what were you saying?
People prey on you too.
Yeah.
They'll rely on you to bend over backwards to convince yourself everything's fine, and they just will suck on you and use you as long as you allow it.
Or they will
and-
guilt you if you stop giving.
Yeah, and when you start to take
So
care of
true.
yourself,
That's so true.
Yeah, my ex-wife.
when you start to take care of yourself and do things for yourself, they call you selfish, and then they stomp away like an angry toddler.
I had one person who we were close and we drew apart because of life. And I still would send them little care packages or lend them money, or their car broke down, I'd lend them my car. I got a new microwave, gave them my old one. I got a new lawnmower. Somebody gave me a used one that was better, a little wider. And I went, oh, let me give this person this lawnmower I've only used twice. Eventually it got to a point where they told me I was a bad friend because when I gave them stuff, I pointed out I had a new one, so I made them feel like I was giving them my trash. And I went, maybe I'm an asshole. And I thought about it.
Just won't give you anything.
And I went to my friends and I realized, no, I don't think I'm actually an asshole here. I think I'm trying to please them, and there is nothing I can do that will please them. So yes, that's exactly right. And what Andrea said, my solution was, you know what? I got this. I just won't give you shit anymore. You get nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why don't you give me anything? You know, you can't have it both ways.
And a few comments.
Yeah.
Overdrive says a good analogy would be a flight attendant explaining oxygen's mask drop in case of emergency. Please secure your own mask before trying to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy says, I've known people that get people to volunteer and then just use them up and then go to the next person. I think anybody who's done a convention of any sort.
Well, that's that,
And then Jamin says, you figure out who your real friends are when you can't do things for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Agreed.
And Jamin, by the way, thank you, speaking of doing things for me, for subscribing to the channel. I see that little icon there. It really helps keep us going.
I like all the postcards.
Yeah,
I was going to say, and thank you for the postcards as well, yeah.
And I get text messages from too. I got one sitting here that I actually haven't commented to, and it's got a little Lego of Indiana Jones, and it says Happy Independence Day, and it's little Lego Indiana Jones hanging from a chain. Good stuff there. It's
What are you reading now?
I got a Google alert where somebody tried to use my password, and what I'm wondering here is, it's actually, it came from no-reply at Google, or at accounts.google.com, so that is valid.
So it's you, or?
I just got it at 9/11.
Somebody keeps trying to hack into my Yahoo account, but I have it so I get a special code text to my phone every time.
There's a cock.
I hear a cock.
So, any more thoughts on people pleasing, guys?
Don't do it. But $20 is $20.
Well, you know, you can always you can always keep your mouth shut and walk away. That's always a good strategy.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. Next one, because we're running low on time here. Number 11.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Did you just do a dad joke?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pick a number between 1 and 201.
174.
Okay, hold on. I got to pull up the document here.
Drum roll, please.
Because I moved the book into the other room. Let's put this over here.
Suppose you leave the book here.
No, I needed a shell face. Okay, here we go. Hey, Elizabeth.
What?
What kind of luggage does Vulture take on a plane?
Dead weight.
Carry on.
Ah!
Even better.
And then the bonus one is, yesterday a clown held open a door for me. I thought it was a nice gesture.
That's who was following
She
me.
looks surprised.
So number 11. Stop. Kevin, we could start with you on this one. Stop putting toxic shit in your body. It's fucking stupid.
Don't tell him what to do.
There's all this horrendous stuff. I mean, like, you know, wheat germ, bran, fiber. You know,
Stop
get
that.
out there, eat the sugar. No, is this not what it's saying? Yeah, look after your body. You think your own you always think physical impairment is something that's going to happen to someone else, don't you?
Yeah.
So is that, I know someone that happened to. It's never it happened to me until it's already happened. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about, you can plan as much as you want, but you just don't know where these things are coming from. And I had probably one of the most perfect examples of that, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Not everyone gets the benefit of that hindsight.
Anybody else some thoughts about Elizabeth? You've been pretty healthy lately.
Well, last week was a little drunken, but absolutely, mind, body, and soul. If you're trying to be disciplined in mind and soul, it's best to keep a clear vision, truly. And it is poison, toxin. Drinking or other things are, it's going to inhibit you. It's going to, Trump doesn't drink or smoke. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Whatever.
Just a thing. Just a thing. His uncle died of alcoholism, so he didn't do it. That's why it really bothered him. So anyway, go ahead, Ed.
Overdrive. Again, this goes back to the logic. Logic versus human nature. Feels good. Path of least resistance. Yada 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 yada. I agree totally. Skipper. You mean I'm not supposed to drink Roundup? We only eat it. We don't drink it. We only eat it here
You
in the
just
United
rub it on your
States.
skin.
I think the key to the Roundup is in moderation. You don't want to drink it every day. Really, the key to everything is moderation.
It's true.
My father.
It does feel better when you are healthy. It does. It does. You sleep better. You think better. You feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah. With that, when Kevin had his heart attack, I quit smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good thing. Because I had the air to get away from that fucking raccoon.
Yeah. Yeah, and break things. See, you might have just had like a simple bite if you didn't have the fucking air to run a quarter mile on a broken leg.
Yes, if you hadn't had the chance to running in the first place, we'd have been like, I'm just going to shoot this fucker.
Well, that wasn't a choice, but yeah.
You could have Greco-Roman wrestled him. Just greased yourself up real quick and stripped down. Maybe not in that order.
I thought he had the
lasso.
recruit beaten, but that was only 2 count according to the ref.
That's fine. My father and I would always agree that, we stay in shape not because it helps you not get sick or go bad, but when bad things do happen, your recovery is so much faster. So it's like a prep for when things go bad. So
It's
balance is important. Stay flexible, baby.
moderation. It's I wasn't kidding about that. It's I come from a long line of accomplished drunks. I say that because they're not alcoholics, because no meetings. So my father died at 54, 56. He was 2 packs a day and a 1.75 liter of whiskey every 2 days.
Oh my God.
So after a quadruple bypass, he quit drinking and cut back on his smoking to a half pack a day. So he died young. And here's to the lesson that he taught me.
The potential for a great career as a blues musician.
Wow.
So let's see here.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't commit to that level of drinking. Oh my God.
I know,
My
it's
body would not let me.
let alone the price, the cost.
I ain't got
Oh God.
I mean, it's I can't afford it. I could never have a drug habit because I can't afford it. How do they do it? And then they still have a great car with a good sound system and a TV bigger than mine. And the fuck do they get this money? I am doing something wrong.
Beg, borrow, steal, and live in debt. The American way.
Oh, you mean you're not supposed to pay cash for your large purposes and not
Purposes? Porpoises? What?
purchases?
You purchased a large
Your
porpoise
large
recently.
porpoises.
Chris, any thoughts on this? Stop.
Not that haven't already been covered.
What do you have for dinner, Chris?
Stuff. I may have gone to Popeyes.
How was it? Tell me about it and talk slow, please.
Finger licking good.
I had 4 donuts. I can't say shit.
I had rice and pork roast.
Apple and cheese.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Out of your cookie condom.
Yeah, but it's like 2 a.m.
And I
there. It doesn't
envy
count.
everyone.
That's right. Anything after 11 p.m. doesn't count, does it?
It's like 2 o'clock there. It's okay, Kevin.
God, that would be so good. Cookies.
It's like a different day here. I'm eating tomorrow's food as far as you lot are
There you go.
concerned. So theoretically, in the time-space continuum, this cookie doesn't exist yet.
That's right. Now, number 12.
Future cookies.
The last rule, guys. Let's slap this up on the screen for everybody so they can see it. Number 12. Stop doing the same fucking thing and hoping shit will change. Stop doing the same fucking thing and hoping shit will change. Now this might...
Then you're just crazy.
It is a common meme, if you want to use modern terms, of the definition of insanity.
Insanity, yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Stop doing the same fucking thing and expecting shit to change. Whether it's what Elizabeth was referring to earlier of a mindset, or whether it's eating the foods that you shouldn't, or drinking, or smoking, or people-pleasing, or any of the things we've discussed in the past 2 weeks. Andrea, what do you think about stop doing the same shit and expecting?
That's pretty much it. Stop doing it and thinking that the same thing's going to happen. You know?
Can you think of anything you've done in your lifetime that you did over and over expecting things to change? Whether you've got over it yet or not?
I didn't know there was going to be a test.
Yeah, I know. Just the answer C.
I don't know. Yes, I know it's happened, but I stopped doing the same thing and everything changed, so I don't remember. Moving on.
Overdrive says, I can't give any lectures on healthy living. Where the fuck is Bob? Every time I hear that scream, I think Bob. Overdrive says, I can't give any lectures on healthy living, but I can tell you that Jägermeister coupled with incredibly hot chicken wings equals gastrointestinal meltdown. Quote, the more you know, animated star flies overhead.
Oh.
And
Jägermeister.
Jamin says, and by the way, Chris has claimed the moo for himself, the same way Elizabeth has pussy and Kevin has cock. Jamin says the government is legalizing pot because that's what you do when you're broke and desperate. You sell drugs.
Well, there you go.
He's not.
I can't remember his name, but I saw a black comedian the other day on a series of stand-up shorts I was watching who did a skit on that, who said, that's how I knew that the American economy was fucked up for real, was the point where the government started legalizing marijuana. He said, because you know that, like, people you know are fucked up when their first thought is, hey, you know what, man, we should start selling pot.
Oh, wow. Huh. I don't know. Or are we going back to the argument of why pot was made illegal in the first place and how it was propaganda as opposed to actual science or give a damn, and that it should have never been made illegal in the first place?
Or we could go to the argument where a populace that has been dumbed down by an education system and we keep them highly drugged and then they're easily influenced.
I think all these things are actually valid.
To quote the late, great George Carlin, it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe in it.
Ed, you got some thoughts on this?
Oh, absolutely. I said those very words to a friend of mine. She just got into one bad relationship after another, after another, after another, after another. She meets a man, she's in love. It ends up terrible. She meets the next guy. I just walked by him at the ice cream parlor, and he turned around and said, hey. 3 days later, she's in love. And it ends terrible. And I told her that same thing. Okay, you got to stop making the same mistakes and expecting a different outcome. That is the definition of insanity.
Now, I think we've all done this on some level at some point, whether it's relationships or other things. I know I have. And I like to pretend to myself at least that I'm an intelligent fellow who could figure out when I'm doing shit wrong. So I'm hoping, as Kevin mentioned with the fuckwits, we're kind of defining fuckwits right here, aren't we? Somebody who does the same shit, makes the same mistakes again and again. Or I know somebody who has had many jobs, and every job they have ended their job because they removed the position. When you work at Steak and Shake, they don't remove any fucking positions at Steak and Shake.
Unless you're the cow.
Yeah, unless you're the cow. What, they went to chicken?
New cow.
There we go.
Yeah, I've given up figuring that I can change, so, you know.
I
I
want a
just know I'm
milkshake.
gonna suck at what.
I think you can, though. I think once you, as Elizabeth mentioned earlier, once you realize you're in this mindset. What, Andrea?
Instead of saying changing, you're evolving. I prefer to think of it as evolving into your final form. Instead of changing, I don't know.
Overdrive has a fair point there. And thank you for the bits, Elizabeth. Here's to you. I'll drink to that. Toxic.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not against pot. I personally don't care what other people do. But, are there any Fortune 500 companies helmed or started by the stereotypical weed head? I know there are Fortune 500 companies who are helmed or started by people who have smoked pot. But I don't think the stereotypical weed head, no.
They're too busy now.
How many pot smokers does it take to change a light bulb?
How many, Kevin?
Who cares? It was too bright in there anyway, man.
Yeah. Because I got. Because I got. Because I got.
That's on my playlist.
It's Elizabeth mentioned it pre-show when you were out of the room, and yeah, it's on my playlist too. And I'm not a pot smoker, and it's in Elizabeth's playlist. And Chris said it's been a while since he heard it.
Those songs are hilarious.
Because they're true, and we've all known that person. Have any of us ever been that person?
Didn't do anything because I got high?
Yeah.
No. I haven't done stuff because I'm damn lazy sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've had that.
Not because I'm high.
Yeah, no, my deadly sin is definitely sloth.
Yeah.
Gluttony.
Oh, if I could have got a picture. We passed a car and their back passenger window was, the screen decal for the window. It was a sloth. A giant sloth.
Aww.
Staring out the window like this. It's funny.
Are we still on doing the same thing? Is that what we're talking about still?
Well, I don't remember. Let's pull that back up. Yeah, stop doing the same fucking thing and hoping shit will
I don't
change.
know. We keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think the most potent part of that statement is hoping things will change.
Yeah.
That's hope. Remember, was it Shawshank Redemption? Hope. That'll get you killed in here.
I like that movie. It's a good movie.
There is a...
You make things change, starting with yourself. If you want really change, and I think I said that last week. I dared people. Did anyone take that dare? I said, I dare you, non-bed makers out there, to our audience, to our hosts,
Oh, yeah.
non-bed makers out there, make your bed for a week or two,
No.
and see what happens.
Yeah, but it was a pain in
Try
the
it.
ass sleeping on the couch for a week. But it did change.
No, my bed is made once a week when I wash the sheets and put them back on.
Try it. Try it. And I think that's really, truly I like working out because it does a physical thing that reminds me to do mentally, to be flexible, to try new things. Sometimes when things hurt, it's good because that's change. And change isn't always easy and comfortable. And I encourage anyone to give that a shot. Kevin, I yield to you.
I was just going to say that as a married man who has recently tried the very advent you speak of, namely making the bed that I don't normally make, I can confirm that the only result you get out of it is a precisely 13.4% reduction in the amount of moaning about unfolded socks.
That's
Wait.
13%, baby.
Based on my highly accurate
Wait, did I just
data set of
understand
one.
that you said you made your bed and people quit complaining about socks?
No, we're not quite complaining. Just to my reckoning, a 13.4% reduction in the normal amount of complaining about the fact that socks haven't been folded into pairs after the laundry's dry.
Are you a
I'm one of those
folder,
people
or are you a roller, or a twister?
No, neither. I'm one of those evil people. I am the pick up the pile of socks and throw them in the sock drawer when I want to, or look through the drawer and find two that match.
That's why you buy all the same socks,
You
Kevin.
don't find the two that match as long as they're kind of close. Sure.
Just buy all the same socks. You won't have to worry about it.
I like an element of danger. I like the thought I could be going Assassin's Creed on the one leg and Harry Potter on the other, you know.
Agreed. Socks
I go
are
for
your
kind of
private expression.
Go for the perfect dichotomy. Get world's greatest dad on one ankle and wanker on the other.
World's greatest wanker.
I have.
Yeah, if you were a wanker, you wouldn't be the world's greatest dad, would you?
If you were a wanker, if you were the world's greatest wanker, surely a sock would be a highly appropriate trophy.
Are you the world's
Don't
greatest
use
dad
that
wanker?
Some socks.
I don't know how many dads have I got to wank off.
Only you can know.
Hey, Andrew,
We
check
do it
air
on a
flights.
shift basis, or have I got to do these all in one queue? We need more data before I can decide on this.
Why do I
Well,
have to
maybe we
check
can make a
references
show of
and
it.
Tempe says, I just throw the loose socks in a laundry basket near the dryer. Everyone is on their own for socks.
Loose
I
socks,
have a
those are the
socks
kind of
basket.
socks.
What, Chris?
Said I have a socks basket, and dirty socks end up in a pile on the floor, and then go into the wash, and then get into the clean socks basket, and kind of stay there. I mean, I could dump them in the drawer, but
Okay. Now, we've got 4 minutes left, unless if anybody wants to go an extra hour. Show of hands, extra hour? Okay, I think we're going to call it in 4 minutes here. Kennedy says, I had celibacy forced upon me by by marriage. I think that directly... I think that directly relates to socks. I'm not sure though. Jamin
that's
says,
great.
I get Jewel a pair of socks with Bigfoot being abducted by a flying saucer.
That's great.
That's a heavy price to pay for a pair of socks. Did you have to lure him there by yourself? And what kind of sock vendor flies a... Anyhow.
It's a trade.
Let's do a closing toast. I think all these 12 rules boil down to just do it, okay? Stop making excuses. Stop coming up with other shit in your head. Focus on the now. Focus on what you want, and you do it. So, here's to that stupid-ass Nike, not too early, Kevin, Nike slogan of just do it.
Just do it.
Oh no.
You know the chopper.
Overdrive says, when my son was a teenager, I swear my ex-wife was getting to the point of wanting to use salad tongs to pick up his socks. Okay, I will say
That's
this.
why you make them do their own socks.
That's what I was going to say. When my son was 9, I went, time to learn how to do laundry. Teach them to do their own laundry before they're jerking off.
Quit pucking your socks. Don't puck your socks.
I get athlete's penis.
Oh. Was it run marathon or something?
It's either that or steroid. One marathon. 3-legged race!
Nah.
It's a relay. Grab the pole. Grab my pole.
I can honestly say I have never fucked a sock.
But you fuck things that you could put a sock over.
It's true.
That would be a hell of a defense mechanism. Just whip out a sock with a dildo in it and beat the shit out of somebody with it. You talk about
That's probably happened.
dick whipped.
Ah.
Overdrive says, shouldn't there be a Schoolhouse Rock episode of Don't Fuck Your Socks?
Yes. Yes. Get on that, Elizabeth.
Dick whipper! I think we have a new villain, ladies and gentlemen.
Tie them together like a pair of nunchuckers. They're fuck chuckers.
Oh,
Nunfuckers.
my God.
Nunfuckers.
We have to make that.
Dildo master.
You got your next screenplay. We can make a trailer for
is
it.
his sidekick the ass gnome?
It could be right up there with Repo.
The genetic. Yes.
We could make that budget on 5,000. Easy.
Make
we'll
that
do a
out of
Kickstarter.
make that right out of what we have in the house.
We can do a Kickstarter for that. Oh, you write it, it'll happen. I have costumes too.
I could do a children's book to
I'll
go
make
with
the
it.
nunchucks. I'll make the dick
All
chucks.
right. That would be rated R for raunchy. Raunchy.
Unless you're Scooby-Doo, then it's rated R for Rabawish.
Oh,
Anyhow.
this would be great.
Let's do some outro music. You guys have a great week. I will see you again later this week. Oh, you know what? I guess before we do this, should we raid somebody? Let's see who we could
Is Jake
I don't
from
want to
State
rape
Farm on?
anyone.
raid.
I might rape myself.
Jake
Yeah.
or Toey?
Can you rape
or...
yourself?
It looks like. Hold on. There. Okay. No.
Tell me.
Nobody.
Sex shop ninjas.
Nobody we know. They all have plenty of viewers.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we're just going to bail out of here. You guys have a great night. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again next week. Who redeemed something?
Kevin left.
That was Chris. At the party.
That makes the show what it is.
Overdrive says, are you currently writing sex shop ninjas, dildo nunchucks, etc.?
Have fun, keep learning, and be
Thank
good
you guys.
to one another.
Here's to you. Thanks for joining us.
Raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day, and steamy dreams every night.
I might be back with some writing. I don't know. We'll
I see your pussy.
Pussy. Giraffe.
That's my giraffe pussy.
So if you're bored and awake for a couple hours, hang out. I might be back in 15-20 minutes. We'll see. Boom. Boom, boom, boom.